Now, a lot of changes have occurred in the education system in Jamaica since the year 2000. These changes were geared towards improving the system so it runs efficiently and is effective. The aim was to make sure the people of the country would be ready for the challenges of the 21st century. Some of the targets that were beneficial for preschoolers were full registration of children ages 4 and 5 in the early childhood setting by the year 2003. Every child should have access to early childhood development. Provision of equal and fair access to high quality education to all children from 4 to 18 years. The goals that were set for 2011 to 2020 were the structures used for teaching and learning is of international standards. Educators must be trained so they are competent to match the needs of the educational structure. Schools should be available and well equipped to meet the demands for all students at early childhood education level, primary level, secondary level, post-secondary, and tertiary levels.
Erik Erikson and Jean Piaget were no doubt influential in changing the teaching methods that were previously used in early childhood settings. Previously, children were taught based on the assumption that they were not as competent as adults in their way of thinking. Piaget's cognitive developmental theory, like Erik Erikson's psychosocial theory, were developed in stages. Piaget's theory were based upon biological maturity and environmental involvement. He postulated that the child's readiness to learn a concept or acquire new information determined the outcome. Piaget was more concerned with children and their thought processes. He developed a theory of 4 stages which will allow for guidance in the learning process. Stage 1, birth to 2 years, the sensory-motor. Stage 2, pre-occupational from 2 to 7 years. Stage 3, concrete operational from 7 to 11 years, and the formal operations from 11 onward. Piaget believed one's experience determined how development took place, while Erik Erikson believed that going through all 8 stages was necessary for the developmental process. He believed how one goes through any one stage would determine the outcome of the next. Erikson's psychosocial theory of development of 8 stages included trust versus mistrust from birth to 18 months, autonomy versus shame from 18 months to 3 years, initiative versus guilt from 3 to 6 years, and so on.
Having an early childhood center or school in a community can be beneficial in 3 ways. Families can not only connect with the school, but they can build relationships with organizations and new services being offered in the community. 2, educators will have invaluable information and many sources at their fingertips, therefore expanding the material they have for teaching. And 3, teachers are better able to understand children by being in the community in which they live, therefore they will be able to provide learning experiences that relate to them. The country we chose was Trinidad and Tobago, and they're presently working on changes in the early childhood education in the area of the policy. And the National Report on the Development of Education in Trinidad and Tobago 2008 states that the Ministry of Education has developed comprehensive programs aimed at providing access to early childhood care and education for all 3 to 4-year-olds. A national policy has been developed on child care, quality standards, for regulating early childhood services in Trinidad and Tobago. Important areas in DRESS are registration and licensing of early childhood care centers, staffing, quality early childhood practices, quality standards for early childhood environments, record keeping, health and safety, and the physical environment. It also states that the new curriculum is child-centered and it focuses on areas such as creative and constructive activities which are in place to help with the development of children's knowledge, understanding and skills in areas including personal, social and emotional development, language and literacy, just to name a few. The National Report on the Development of Education in Trinidad and Tobago also states that the Early Child Care and Education Construction Program has proposed to construct 600 centers throughout Trinidad and Tobago to achieve access for all children. They want to provide a learning environment where all the needs of a child are met. These centers will be accessible to the physically challenged also. It also states that the ministry developed a policy to address the development of teachers in the form of training. The teachers must have attained academic and pedagogic qualifications, and they must also go through continual training so they can be equipped to deliver the curriculum in a way that's responsive to the needs of the learners.